Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 119 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Once again, glad to have you here. And got some, I think, talking with Kayla, we just kind of decided probably the best thing because the last two episodes we had so many questions and dialogue. There's so many new things that we have coming out. And anyway, just lots of questions. So we decided we'd do an episode where we kind of take the main questions we're seeing from people and talk specifically about those, have a little bit more detail. And so that's what we're going to do today. We'll hit some hot topics from the last couple shows that we've done. As far as running samples, so as you all saw on last week's show, several of us were out of town last week, so we are playing catch up this week. But we do have a whole bunch of results going out. By the time you see this, it would have been the day before. They might be getting entered in on Tuesday. So we're recording on Monday. We're running a ton of them, and then they might be getting entered in on Tuesday since there's so many. So if you're watching this on Tuesday, you're waiting for results, you don't see them. They're probably getting entered in. But hopefully, though, most, if not all of them, will be up by Tuesday night. And then the rest of the week, most days, there might be one other day we'll need to do. There's some other new things that we're setting up and organizing and things like that. So there might be one other day this week we're not going to be able to do runs, but it's all so that we can be able to do stuff faster, better, cheaper in the future. Just more stuff we got to get set up right. So, but yeah, let's see. Panel results went out. So if you didn't see an email or see your stuff updated for panels, and you're confident you should have been in that run, then this would be a good time to reach out to us. But if you weren't sure, then that probably means that you're going to be on the next run. And the next run's probably at least 2 more weeks out, maybe 3. So, but we do also want to shout out in here right here. Thank you all so much. We see more volume coming. I think there's a good chance that we'll be able to increase how quickly this next panel run is still probably going to be like a 3 to 5 week wait for people, but either right after that or not long after that, we might be able to cut it down to 2 to 4 week or 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. At least for a few, we'll see how it goes. But we might be able to make that panel turn around faster, but we will keep you updated on here for sure. But yeah, for right now, we still got a little bit of time before that next one will come out, probably 2 to 3 weeks. I think that's all I got. Kayla, how are you doing?
Hey, Ben, I'm doing great. I am looking forward to getting some sample results this week because I just sent in 11 of my baby rat snake sheds. So
Cool.
one of which is a pairing that I had, like a double het pairing that I've been waiting for 4 years since I got Clover, which she might be hanging out back there. Nope, she's gone. She was sitting out there like stretched all the way across the tank beautifully before we started recording. And now is the time for her to hide. But it's one of her babies. I'm trying to get at least a male and a female hold back from her. So I'm so excited.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll see.
And with genetic testing, you can do that without having to pop her probe. So that's
exactly. Because I don't have anybody people have tried to teach me how to pop and probe, but I mean, I know a guy. I work for a guy who can do that. So there we go.
Well, with ball pythons and boas and colubrids, I eventually got to where I was good enough at popping babies that I was right most of the time. But I made mistakes with all 3, and other species are, a little bit different too. So it's kind of nice to have that option if you don't want to worry about it. If you only have a few, or if it's your first year or whatever. With ball pythons, they're the ones I did the most, and it really took me probably 3 or 4 years popping dozens, if not hundreds, every year. Mm-hmm. Now I can get a baby ball python, and I can tell you, and it's been probably over 10 years since I've been wrong with a ball python. But yeah, kind of cool, kind of nice to have that option for anyone that wants to use it.
There you go. I don't know why, but I just randomly remembered, apparently they do like chick sexing competitions. And
really?
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. And it's I don't know exactly what you have to do, but you got to get real up and personal with them. And that just made me think of like, oh my gosh, like snake napping competition, colubrid fest.
There you go.
But then again, I'd be afraid of breaking little tails, so I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
The thought is very amusing, nonetheless.
Yeah, that's the other really nice part is you take a
Yeah.
little piece of shed that was going to go in the trash. Instead of going in the trash,
Mhm.
you mail it to us, and we can tell you you don't have to worry about hurting an animal. That's also a big plus.
Exactly. But anyway, speaking of shed tests, we have some more things maybe coming in with our corn snake testing. We can't say what yet, but I'm really excited. So, corn snake people, we're really glad that you guys are able to use our tests, and we want to, and we're working on more. So, really excited about that. And if you don't see the tests that you were really hoping for, you can send us sheds from your animals from the mutations that you have. Any known genetics animals, we can take those and let other people know. Like if you really want what's a corn snake morph? If you
Charcoal.
really charcoal, yes. If you really want a charcoal test, which a lot of people have asked for, um, like if you work with charcoal, or even if you don't, find somebody who does. Suggest us to them. That way, you guys can send in sheds, and we can start to develop that. As for ball pythons, we got the same thing. Also, we added rainbow to this list. Rainbow, we could really use more rainbow sheds from ball pythons. And of course, this works. I put at the bottom of this page, homozygous forms are preferred, but hets work too. The same applies to corn snake sheds and any other species that we don't currently test for. And when it comes to mutation testing, homozygous forms are best, but we can also do hets. It doesn't matter if it's single gene or if it's a combo or if it has a whole bunch of hets. All of the above can help as long as they're confirmed or 100% positive, as long as you're 100% positive of your genotype.
Yeah, so what we can't do right now for ones we don't have a test for are possets. If you send us a posset, we can't use that to develop the new test. We can't really do anything with possibles until the test is done. Then we can test the possibles. But if you know it's a het, or you can see it's a visual, homozygous or whatever, those are good to go.
Exactly. And you just need a little piece of shed. You don't have to send the whole thing. And make sure that you have all of that animal's information. So the ID or name, known morphs, possible morphs, because it is helpful to know about the possible morphs. Once we have the test, then we can start to, play around with it, play around with validating it, and all that, as well as and lineage info, who produced it, and so on. But yeah, so we do have new tests, speaking of which, and it's because of people sending us sheds like here. We have a honey, vanilla, disco, HRA, and butter test. And we've also found out that there are two compatible mutations that we call fire in the ball python hobby. And so it's basically just like Ultramel A and B, where, they don't appear to have any differences. They're compatible, and we just call it Ultramel, or in this case, we just call it fire. And we found that out because of you guys sending in your sheds. And then we have, of course, our panel tests. It's basically just called the 48 panel test on our website. And we'll talk about, our panels on our website a little bit later, and like how to order directly from it. But, we've added butter, Huffman, and NoCo special on there because it was just easy to throw in. So we figured we're not going to charge any extra. We're just going to throw it in there, give you guys more value for your test. And maybe you'll know if you actually have a real butter for our butter believers. So you get your lesser tested in addition to all of these others.
I was just going to say, even though those extra 3 have only been on this last run, we did find a Huffman for someone that didn't know and a NoCo special for someone that didn't know. So
awesome. Oh, that's cool.
At least
I love that
in the comments. So
yeah, there you go. I love that those are already popping for people. Fantastic. And of course, in our store, it is live right now, the All Recessives panel. You can order that today. You can order it yesterday. You can order it last week. And it is on our website. So we really hope you guys can take advantage of that. I don't know the exact number of tests in there, but it's all of the recessives that we can test for.
I believe today, the second, it's 16 or 17, one or the other, 16 or 17. Because Monsoon is there also.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's going to go up over the next little bit.
Awesome. Great to hear. Now, let's talk about last week's episode. That one made I think maybe ruffled a couple of feathers, possibly due to like maybe some misunderstanding in what was being said. And it was a really complicated episode. So that's completely understandable.
It's the warning that this might fry your brain.
Yes, exactly. So our episode is a linkage between Monsoon and Sunset. Let's talk about it and let's get to some of those questions from this episode. So Ben, one thing that was asked primarily is, are you saying that it's impossible to make a Monsoon Sunset double visual?
Yes, and we tried to say very clearly, no, that is not what we're saying. What we're saying is that from the data we're seeing so far, first of all, the fact that Monsoon and Sunset, those mutations are on the same chromosome and relatively close to each other, there's a chance there's some linkage, which would mean that when you breed those two traits in your animals, they may not pass to the offspring in a random way. Like if you breed a bumblebee, Spider and Pastel are on different chromosomes, and so they randomly, you can get a bumblebee from a bumblebee, you can get a spider, you can get a pastel, or you can get a complete normal. So that's what you would say, that's a random interaction between those two traits, and that's because they're on different chromosomes. There's no linkage at all. But like with something like banana, and whether an animal is female or male, so that sex determining region, we know from breeding that there is fairly tight linkage, like 95% of the time. If you have a male maker male, then the bananas in the clutch of offspring are also going to be male 95% of the time. And then any of them that didn't get banana, 95% of the time are going to be females. But every once in a while, you do have that switch where a male maker can make a female banana. And so this situation with Monsoon and Sunset is more like that. And what we were saying is we've got to watch for more data. We need to see more clutches come. We talked about 3 clutches. I've had another 3 people have reported what they've gotten from 3 other Monsoon and Sunset clutches. But we really need to get, at least 10 or a dozen, or maybe it'd be nice to have 20 clutches to know for sure, like really narrow down what that percent of linkage will be. It could be similar to banana and sex determining region, or it could be less. It could be, 80% of the time there's that linkage. The other 20, there's not. But what we can say for sure right now, this question, are you saying it's impossible to make a Monsoon Sunset double visual? We're definitely not saying that. We don't see any evidence that that would be the case. That would be kind of like saying you can't make a gravel and I guess it'd be a gravel freeway. So it'd be gravel, asphalt, and yellow belly. The reason why you can't do that is because all 3 of them are in the same gene. So they're so close to each other that that's not going to happen, or it would be extremely unlikely to happen. Still not impossible, but very unlikely. But with Monsoon and Sunset, they're a little further apart than that. They're on different genes, but they are relatively close. So yeah, this first question, we can say no, we are for sure not saying that.
Awesome. And so the follow-up question to that is, are you saying that it's going to be really difficult to make a Monsoon Sunset double visual?
So yeah, with that, I would say we are not ready to say that. We don't have enough data to say that. And that's not at all what we were trying to say in the last episode. So once again, sorry if there was any miscommunication or confusion, but what we showed there, we had 3 different clutches that we talked about already in that last episode.
Do you want me to pull that up? Or
Yeah. Why don't you pull those clutches, at least the first 2 up?
Right.
So when you look at these first 2 clutches, these two clutches show perfect linkage. So the sire has a mutation for sunset on one chromosome and a mutation for monsoon on the other chromosome.
Mhm.
And for it to pass both sunset and monsoon to one offspring, there'd have to be a crossover event to get sunset and monsoon on the same chromosome. And so here with these 6 offspring, all we're seeing is sunsets because the dam was a sunset. So in that case, the sire gave the sunset mutation to that offspring. The mom had to give sunset because she's homozygous. So you had 67 or 2/3, 66.7% were sunsets that were just not, they were negative for monsoon.
Mhm.
And then the others got the sunset from mom, but they got the monsoon from dad. And so 1/3 of them only got one from the dad, in that case, monsoon. So what we didn't see was a crossover event where we could have gotten a sunset het monsoon or just a het sunset, which would mean
Yeah.
it didn't get sunset or monsoon from the dad. That was not in this clutch at all, those two outcomes. So this shows perfect linkage in this one clutch, but that's just one data point, one clutch, 6 offspring. So when we go to the next
Not a
one,
lot.
we actually see the same thing. You have a double het male, and this time the female didn't have sunset or monsoon genetics. So this one's a little easier to understand.
Yeah.
So if there's linkage, that dad has the sunset mutation on one chromosome and the monsoon on a different one because it got one from the mom, one from the dad. It was likely a monsoon to sunset breeding. So it got het for both, but they're on different chromosomes. And so if there's linkage there, if they're close enough that they're not going to cross over very often, that means each baby is just going to get one or the other. It's not going to get both, and it's not going to get neither unless there's a crossover event. And once again, here, it's an even higher percent. We have 83% are just het sunset. 16% are just het monsoon, but we have none that are neither, and we have none that are both. So this is more of like an example of breeding a freeway to a normal. You're going to get just asphalts or yellow bellies. You're not going to get babies that are neither, and you're not going to get babies that are highways, right? So that's what perfect linkage would be. And we expect that from asphalt and yellow belly because they're in the same gene. But in this case, the het monsoon and the het sunset did that same thing. You had the babies just getting one or the other, not both and not neither. But once again, that's just one more clutch. So this is 2 clutches that showed perfect linkage. But in the third clutch we talked about, we do show 2 examples where linkage was broken.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're definitely presenting evidence proving that, this, as long as this breeds out how it tested out, which I fully expect that it will, then yes, from a double het male to a het sunset female, they were able to get 2 sunsets that were het for monsoon. And so in those 2 animals, the ones that are in green, we know that they had to have gotten both the het sunset and the het monsoon from the dad. So that means at least 2 times a crossover event occurred so that the 2 messages that were on different chromosomes are now on the same chromosome, so that one chromosome has both het monsoon and het sunset. Like I said, as long as this breeds out how it tested out, this is according to genetic testing right now, and I fully expect that it will. You can produce some animals that are sunset het monsoon, which you would fully expect you can make monsoons that are het sunset. And obviously, when you breed those together, then you're upping your odds quite a bit because you don't have to worry about a crossover event so much. But what we really wanted to do with this video, help everyone understand linkage better. And then also, if you're interested in sunset and monsoon, when you go and you do your planning for your breeding, this would help you to understand, just like back in the day, if we had already known about banana and the sex determining region, we could have talked about that and helped breeders understand before they bought into that, especially the very first people that bought it and just expected it to be like all other incomplete dominant mutations. And then all of a sudden found out they could only make females with it or only make males with it. And then eventually they figured out, okay, if that banana male comes from a male, it's going to make males. But if the banana male came from a female, then that banana male is going to make female bananas 95% of the time of the bananas that are made. So we know that now because of breeding, and we just wanted to help all of you understand that linkage concept and then be able to watch as these next clutches come. And as we learn more, like I said, maybe we'll find out it's 80% of the time. Maybe we'll find out it's 90% of the time. Maybe we'll find out it's 60% of the time. We don't know for sure. All we can say is the very first 3 clutches, 2 out of those 3 showed quite a bit of linkage going on. And they are close to each other on the same chromosome. So that possibility is there. So are we saying it's impossible to make a monsoon sunset? No. Are we saying it's going to be really hard to make a monsoon sunset? We're still not necessarily saying that yet either, but we're saying that possibility is there, and we want to help you understand that so that if you want to move into this project, you can plan accordingly. The other big reason why we want to let this information out is because if we don't, and 2 years, 3 years from now, someone figures this out, maybe they are really tightly linked like banana and the sex determining region, and they're like, oh, well, RGI, why didn't you tell us? You had to have known that. You had those 2 mutations. You knew where they were. You had to have known they're close to each other. Why didn't you let us know? Like, we don't want people to be concerned that we're keeping stuff secret or only giving it out to big breeders or whatever. As soon as we learn things, we would like to have the opportunity to share it with everyone so that everybody knows what's going on or knows to keep their eyes out for something. We may present something, in another month or whatever and say, hey, this is a possibility. This is what we're seeing so far. Keep an eye on this. It doesn't mean you should or shouldn't buy this or that or change plans or anything like that. We would just like to present everyone with the information for their breeding plans so they can have a better expectation of what's to come and what breedings are going to get you to your goal the fastest and give you the highest probability of getting there. That's where we're coming from, 100%. So yeah, monsoon sunset, definitely are not sure how that's going to play out. There's definitely evidence there. There may be some linkage, but we've got to watch for more clutches. So that's where we're at.
Awesome.
But if you still have questions, let us know.
Yeah. And if you want to get the lowdown on how linkage works in bananas, we did do an episode back on, oh, dang it, I didn't mark down which episode that was, but it wasn't terribly long ago, just a few months.
Yeah,
so
like a month
look
or two.
For this thumbnail. Yeah. Oh, and I'll link it in the up there somewhere. Yeah, up there-ish. So you'll see it pop up here. And yeah, so that was linkage stuff. And check out the whole episode if you feel like frying your brain. We talk about it. Dr. Travis Wyman joins us again. It's a great time. I don't cry, but I feel like it, So yeah, so we want to talk about our website. Pull it up for you. There we go. So we've gotten a few questions about where exactly and how exactly they make an order on our website. We showed it off on our live stream, so 2 weeks ago, but I figure we'll show it off here too. So Ben, do you want to explain it, and I will navigate here?
Perfect. So yeah, if you're ready to purchase, if you go to purchase tests, so whether you're on your phone or in this case, we're showing it on a computer, but just find where it says purchase tests. So you can go into the single gene tests. And once you go there, you can just click on whatever single gene you'll want to put your email in so it can give you your results, and then enter in the animal ID. So if it's the name of your snake or a number, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to give us any known genetics, and then make any kind of comment, if you want to say what the pairing was or anything like that. It's just kind of nice, not only for us, if we potentially want to use your shed, like maybe it's also Het Daddy, and you put that in those comments, then later when we're doing more Het Daddy stuff, I can do a search and I can pull that shed because I know it's also Het Daddy. So it's kind of nice for us to have that, but it's also nice for you. You have that recorded. And then if you forget for sure which order went with which one, you can look up and you have some comments there, or some known mutation information. So, oh, that's this animal that I tested. So it's kind of nice to have that there. But yeah, then you can just pick whichever test you want to do. So it's much faster, easier. Here's another way you can click on one of these buttons. I think this is to add a second one. It's like if you wanted to also test it for a second mutation.
You select your first one. So I just actually, let's do acid. That's fun. And then you can add more up to basically up to 3 additional genes. So Xanthic and Bongo, and let's do puzzle. I like puzzle. Add to cart. And then we'll go up here. And then snake 1, acid's primary test. And then you get a discount for adding on the others. So there are your 4 tests.
So now, that's one way you can do it. And then check out. And when you go to checkout, you will have the opportunity to put in a discount code. So if you've come across any of the people that we sponsor and they have a discount code, you'll be able to enter that in. So
exactly. And so got your payment, and and that's where you put in your promo code.
Yeah.
You can apply it, do your thing, pay, and then it'll give you the instructions for how to send it in after that.
Yes. So yeah, if you're not sure which address to send to, when you order that, it'll send you an email and let you know which address to send to. So
exactly.
And then, so that really kind of does 2 things. These first 2, single gene and multi-gene, you can do either one through those. So like we just did a multi-gene by clicking on the single gene one. You can do them both there. But any of the panels, so if you want to find, test for all the spider panel, or if you want to do the new all recessive panel or the big 48, then you do need to come to this panel section and click there.
Yep.
And then same thing, put your email in. So we have somewhere to send your results, put the name of the animal or its number, or however you want to have that, and put in any other info you want us to know or for you to be able to use to search later.
And then all recessive.
Yeah. So in that case, you want to do the all recessive. You want to see if your animal's hiding anything that's, could be recessive for, and that gives you the chance. And then, but then you can also pick the full recessive, or just to do spider or spider panel or whatever. And then once you're ready, go through that same checkout that Kayla showed you.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing I want to bring up is that's also like clicking the add new panel. That's also how you add this to your total summary. Took me a minute to, I had to play around with it at first, but then after that you can add more. So, do your thing, so on and so forth. Select it, add new panel, and it'll just tally it all up for you, basically.
Cool.
Go to checkout, and same thing. Add in your promo codes if you've run across those with some of some of the folks we sponsor, and there you go.
Yeah, so it makes it easy, fast. You don't need to, type in anything unless you want to, like we said, to help us or to help you. It just makes a really quick, easy, convenient way to get stuff ordered.
Exactly. My potato. Jay's here today, which is awesome because it's a rare day we get to spend together. But that means he's also on cat duty. But yeah.
So, and then if you want to learn about the tests, so if you come here hey, I want to know more about piebald, that specific test.
Yeah.
If you go to available tests and then click on the ball python in this case for piebald, when you're on this screen, it's going to show you all the tests that we have, but also each one, it's going to have a grade. So as Kayla's scrolling down there, you can see some are A, B, C, some are an A+. You may wonder, oh, what does that mean? If hidden gene woma is a B, but pied is an A+, what's the difference there? Well, what you can do is just go ahead and click on pied. And then when you're on that pied page, if you scroll down, first of all, it's going to give you some cool information specifically about piebald. But for the test, because we've had multiple people ask, what do these grades mean? So any of these morph pages, if you scroll down to the bottom, then it will have a detailed explanation of what the test grades are.
Yeah.
So that'll let you know, oh, that's the difference between a B and a C or a D or whatever you're wondering about. All that information's there. So that's going to be on the pied page, the clown page, the asphalt page, any of those. You can just scroll down to the bottom and see what those grades mean. And then we also have, like I said, some basic information and some pictures, and then we're going to fill in. And any of you that either have done a really nice video or know someone that has, feel free to email Kayla and let her know, and we will happily add, good high quality videos that are talking about the various morphs. She'll be able to do that. Are you able to pop your email address up there?
Boom. There we go.
Yes. And same thing with pictures. If you got pictures, especially some of them, we still have the picture of Sean's friend, since we don't have a picture for that morph yet. So
yes, send us. I mean, we love our guy. He's wonderful, but we could use a picture of an actual Huffman here. That would be nice.
Earl, I think his name's Earl.
Earl, yes.
Yeah, so there's Earl. But yeah, if you've got a good Huffman picture, let us know. Email it in.
Yes, please. Yeah. Awesome. And so that's pretty much the gist of it. It's simple and sweet. Order your tests there. You can order it for a 15% discount on Morph Market or Clutch if that's how you did it before. We try to make it easy for you guys to access good genetic testing. And so do we have anything else for today, Ben?
Yeah, we've got a shed donor shout out.
Yeah.
Really want to say thanks. First of all, there's lots. Like you all, since we've been asking quite a bit, you all have stepped up. So we're going to try to make sure we recognize at least one of you each week, because we've got a lot going in. So first of all, thank you, everyone. But one specifically is Kristen Dion from Spotted Scales. She sent in a whole bunch. So thankful for that.
Nice collection.
So we've got ball python, we've got hognose, we've got rat snake.
Yeah, let's go.
Boas.
Very nice.
And corn snake. So yeah. Very nice, and several for each one, and they're morphs that we need to design new tests for. So thank you so much, Kristen. So if you want to check out Spotted Scales, you know that they're coming through for us and sending sheds in. Really appreciate it. So they're good people to support.
Definitely. And they've got lots of nice, honestly, they have a huge variety of listings. Geckos, ball pythons, corn snakes, Tokay geckos. Honestly, I respect anybody who keeps and breeds Tokays. They're spicy little dudes. And that probably means I like them. I like grumpy things. It's okay. I don't need geckos right now. It'll happen someday, I'm sure. But,
Someday. And
someday.
Kristen can hook you up when you're ready.
Exactly. So Tokay Ketas, Spotted Scales. Thanks, Krista. We really appreciate you. Oh, and they're in Texas too. They're not too far from, actually, depending on which side of the state they're on, they're not too far from us and Sean. Awesome. Well, thanks to, like we say, we really can't do what we do without you guys. And my camera is tilted because of the cat. That's better. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining in today. Make sure you like and comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff that gets us into the algorithm. That way the YouTube gods can set our videos in front of other reptile nerds, genetic nerds, and people who, kind of do what we do here. So thanks everybody. And Ben, you got anything before we call it a day?
Nope. Just thanks again for all the orders and support. And
yes, thank you guys.
Yeah. Watching the videos, commenting, all of those good things. It's all very helpful to all of us here at RGI. Thank you.
For sure. All right. Later, guys. Outro in 3, 2, 1.